how are you all? So this is our first video together, me and Hemanti, because she has traveled to Bangalore for the first time to be with
And I'm
me.
enjoying it. I think the most transformation happened for me in terms of weather, because from Calcutta to Bangalore it's a huge difference, and I'm really enjoying that.
And yeah, it's 2:15 in the afternoon and it's really pleasant. We are near the Orion Mall in Brigade Residencies near World Trade Center. This is the World Trade Center. And so we have brought for you four poetry books, which we really enjoyed reading of late. And I'll share two books with you, and Hemanti will share two more books with you. And yes,
So you can go for it, Akhila.
yeah,
Let's
sure.
hear from you.
Right. So the first book which I read recently and which I really liked reading is Terrarium by Urushi Bhaguna. Now this is a debut poetry collection by the author, by the poet Urushi Bhaguna, who has also written a collection of essays, No Straight Thing Was Ever Made, recently published by Penguin. The collection of essays is based on the mental health. Those are essays on mental health, and this particular collection is of poetry. Is her debut work, and she has won a lot of prestigious awards, ranging from the Emerging Poets Prize to Wingward Poetry Prize, and she has also been a fellow of the prestigious Sangam Fellowship. Now, this particular book is autobiographical, is confessional in nature, and it talks about varied themes from poets' experiences of migrating to Goa, to about her geography teacher from whom she learned to respect this bruised and bumped earth. And apart from that, it also has poems related to her mental health, the medical history of her family, the first love, breakups, and all that. So this is something which is very good, very interesting. This poetry book is because it is very fresh, and it's very fresh. It's different from the rest of the books, which I really like. It's highly nostalgic. I think anybody can connect with it. People from our generation or any generation can connect with the poems written in this collection because of the themes budding in the poem. Next book, I think Hemanti will
Yes.
talk about.
So, talking in terms of confessional, because you also talked about confessional poems. So, the poetry collection which really comes to my mind when we talk about confessional is Sylvia Plath. So there is a lot of collections about her poems, but I would take one poem specially which really touched me, and it intrigued me to understand this point, that what is transformation, the transformation of life and death, and the fear which is involved in that. So her poem Ariel is made like that, because there is a horseback rider who is riding, but then till nothing happens, you just feel that it's life. Nothing is actually happening, but a time comes when the horse really gets mad, and then the journey is towards death. So that really intrigues me, the fear which the horseback rider faces, that somehow transforms his or her state of mind, sorry, state of mind, and that is really interesting, I think.
That's really interesting. So anyway, Sylvia Plath is like one of my favorites, confessional poets and poets overall. And so the next one is something which I picked up from the Bangalore Literary Festival 2022. This is Knotted Grief by Naveen Kishore, again a very acclaimed publisher and writer, but this is his debut collection of poetry. So So he's majorly a publisher, but has won a lot of prestigious awards like Gothe Medal and whatnot. And he had established Siegel's book in 1982. Now this book is again a debut collection, as I said, and transfers the landscape of grief and loss. Most of the poems are very short and crisp, so if you're aware of the Japanese short forms haiku, senryu, which are written in basically 3 lines or 1 line, the munku, having a juxtaposition, having the link and shift. So very minimalist poems, but very powerful and majorly covering, themes of grief and loss. I'll just read out the sections that the book has. So the first section in the book is Coda. The next one is Kashmiriyat, very very close to me because of late I had been reading a lot of works by Kashmiri Pandits, the exilic writings, the writers who are living in exile. So the Kashmiriyat section talks about the violence that had happened to the Kashmiri Pandits. So that is the second section, and then the Street Full of Widows, Selected Griefs, Title Sky, Under the Skin, and Bird Call. So one poem I would like to read from this collection is very short. It's again a jembo. Okay, it's a 4-line poem, very short poem. The blurred shadow, frozen mid-sentence. I hope you will enjoy reading both the books and the books shared by him. You're a photographer.
It's lovely.
Yeah.
So there is a lot of people around.
Yeah.
So on that note, because I was reading on the theme of death and life and transformation, so this is another poet who has written a lot about spirituality, about life, about death, about the conception of these terms. So the poet which I have chosen is Sri Aurobindo. So he has his own collection, a huge collection of poetry actually. So one poem which really touched me, and it also goes with the theme for me today, is Fear of Life and Death. So he says that fear is always there because we feel that life is something which we have a lot of expectations, right? So we ask ourselves, are we doing correct? How is life going? Will it be okay? Will we be able to be successful? So these questions, it creates a fear when we are living, and also there's a fear of death because when we think about the end, we are generally fearful. Right, so he says that it's actually not the binary opposite. Life and death are not opposites. It's actually a small, part, a small pigment of a very big circle. So, yeah, so the thought process is really interesting, and I feel that you all should read and at least explore whether you feel that it is connecting with you or not.
Yeah, very interesting, right? And it reminds me of that poem where the mind is
Without Fear.
Without Fear by Rabindranath Tagore, the famous poem, because it talks just the opposite.
Yes.
And both are from the same land, the greatest poets of Bengal, and really interesting. So friends, we hope that you would have enjoyed today's video, and we hope that you would like to read these books. Do let us know in the comment section below. How did you find the video and the books and the poetry? And you can also share any of the poetry books which you are reading or you would have enjoyed reading. So, and apologies.
Don't forget to like, share and subscribe.
And apologies for all the nuisance because it's a very very vibrant day today. Tomorrow is Dussehra, and this place is really beautiful and happening, and everybody is enjoying. So, okay.
Alright.
Bye.
Bye everyone.